Kasese district is ranked among the most districts in Uganda, with increasing teenage pregnancies and early marriage rates, which have greatly led to school dropouts and increasing number of street kids. This is attributed to domestic violence and child negligence in homes. Kyagalanyi Coffee Limited, working together with Community Empowerment for Rural Development, CFOD, have kicked off a child protection program in Kilembe, Maliba, and bugoye sub-counties. The program that will last for 3 years. During an engagement with CDOs and social workers from these 3 sub-counties, John Bosco Okaya, the project manager for Community Empowerment for Rural Development, CFOD, highlighted on the objectives that this program will encounter and how this program is going to be utilized to protect the child rights in these 3 sub-counties. District leaders led by the Deputy RDC in charge of Bukonzo, Lieutenant Matemagwara, welcomed the operations of CFOD, which will supplement government efforts in the fight against domestic violence. Thank you so much for being right there. This is Amanano Live. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe as we are bringing you the latest news and information as it unveils here in Kasese municipality. Let's take a look at a full story when Kyagalanyi and CFOD engage political and technical leaders here in Kasese district in regards to child protection.
John Bosco Okaya. I'm the project manager from Community Empowerment for Rural Development, CFOD. CFOD is one of the local NGO and national NGO that is supporting issues to do with the child protections. And we have quite a number of activities that we are doing in regards to ensuring that children of all school age going are supposed to be in school, and these children are supposed to complete schools. And one thing that we were able to do in this child protection project is to make sure that we support local structures, community structures, and these child protection committees are volunteer structures that support children, and they go home to ensure that all children of school age going are in school. And also we support to ensure that the school environment is also good for children who are in school to remain in school. But we also realize that children whose rights have been abused are supposed to be supported, particularly the issues of referring and registering cases. We have established what we call Child Protection Fund. And this Child Protection Funds is to help children who have been affected, who are victims, to be supported to make sure that they are able to realize justice. And therefore, we as NGOs working together with the private sector, that is Kyagalanyi Coffee Company Limited, we together with the local government, we have been ensuring that children who are of school age going are in school, but also we realize that Kasese district has very high rate of teenage pregnancy, and because they have very high rate of teenage pregnancy, enrollment and dropout is high. And because enrollment and dropout is high, we realize that we should be able to support these social structures to make sure that all these children remain in school, they are able to complete, but they are also able to, ensure that they are skilled to do their work that can be able to make them good citizens. And therefore, we are very thankful for the district and the sub-county leadership under the guidance of the Community Development Office, but also the District Community Development Office and the District Education Officer, with the Secretary for Social Services and all the councillors of Kasese District for having provided for us conducive environment to ensure that as the local, as NGOs, we are able to support the arms of government by the NGO Act. And therefore, we look forward to make sure that we reach many of the sub-counties in Kasese district so that children's rights are protected and children are in school. Right now, we implemented a 3 years project in Charumba sub-county, in Mahango sub-county, and we are now moving away from these sub-counties to 3 different sub-counties, that is Bugoye, that is kilembe, and maliba sub-counties. And the activities that we do there, first of all, we work in the communities, create awareness on issues of the causes of child labor, but also the causes of child abuse. And these awareness are created by the community, protections committee in the various communities. Once these are done, the community members form themselves into committees to check at household level whose child has not gone to school and which child's rights has been violated. They do counseling. They also help to support the parents who have violated the rights of the children, and these children are also protected to make sure that they are referred either to police, they are referred to the community development office, through the probation office, to make sure that these matters come to the sub-county. But also at school level, we support the child clubs to make sure that children within those schools are able to monitor themselves, to ensure that children who miss schools are followed up by their own colleagues. And we also help to train teachers on issues of remedial teaching to make sure that children who are late are also able to catch up, because these are government programs that need to be enhanced. So through that, we have also created what we call child protection funds. This child protection funds is to help the parents of children whose children have been abused, and to support them, for example, for medical examinations, to make sure that justice is delivered to them. But there are situations where you find the child does not even have transport to move to the health center. These are now the funds, and these funds stays with the community-based child protection committee, and the community-based child protection committee are also supporting this through the VSLA, Village Loan Saving and Credit Associations, which exist within the communities, and the parents are making contributions, say 100 shillings and 200 and 300 shillings, and these funds are the ones that are trying to top up what we have already contributed, and it is enormous. I want to say that the parents have a very enormous support that is helping to sustain these processes. But we also engage with the local leaders and the district and the sub-counties to make sure that they also come up with the bylaws and the resolutions to make sure that certain things within the communities are actually prohibited. For example, children going to markets during the school hours, children going for discos and those kind of things during school hours, are all to make sure that we protect this child, because you can only be a child once. You can't be a child twice. And therefore, that is the age that, as Community Empowerment for Rural Development, CIFOD, and Kyagalanyi Coffee Company Limited, we want to ensure that we protect that fragile age that will become useful citizens. And this will also protect, reduce crime rates, but it also really helps the community to realize that children are going to school, but they are also becoming useful citizens within the community. And enrollment and retention will definitely improve. And once that is done, and then we are assured of good citizens who are loyal, who will pay taxes, who will also contribute effectively, and who will protect the rights of others, since their rights were protected. Thank you.
Heads of departments from the district local government, our friends of the Surfers and Kyagalanyi, my dear participants, I want to thank you for this engagement. First of all, I'm Lieutenant Mate Sewachira Magwara, Deputy RDC Kasese, one that oversees Konzo County. I've heard the name Mafali. Is he still around? He's attending a meeting. Okay. When you mentioned Mafali, I'm lucky to have been there where the Mafalis are, and what comes to mind first is coffee. You might think we have coffee on the Rwenzori, but I want to assure you they have coffee on the Elgon Mountain. But surprisingly, Elgon is much smaller than Rwenzori. I wondered why they should produce more coffee than Rwenzori does. but I'm happy with the trend we are taking. Also. For my friends from Kyagalanyi, I want you to know that I'm one of your clients. For the past 1 year, I've been receiving seedlings from Kyagalanyi because I'm now into coffee. I so far planted a few acres. I'm going to plant more, and I'll need more seedlings. Uganda as a country is committed to increasing coffee production, increasing and exporting coffee, and we are also committed to adding value coffee. Because initially we have been producing coffee beans and exporting them. Government commitment now is produce, process, and market. That's why you have those who are following those debates in Parliament and elsewhere about the merger of government agencies, including UCDA. Government focus is on eliminating bottlenecks to our coffee production. And one way to modernize, increase productivity in the coffee sector is the measures or the interventions that government is already making. And I'm convinced that no political pressure from pursuing this course. Of course, we have a lot of land here. I've traversed most of this district now. A lot of land where we need to plant more coffee. I would like to urge my kasese people to grow and grow more coffee. There's a lot of work on the land, and especially in the highlands. These people who are scientists in coffee say the higher the altitude, the better the cup taste. The higher the altitude, the better the cup taste. And when you move up here, during the time of ADF and the previous conflicts, people abandoned that good stretch and moved to the lower areas. Now that stretch has a lot of unutilized land. Now I would wish that we should encourage our people to, as much as possible, get back, because there are no more conflicts now. Get back, grow coffee. Everyone knows why we need the coffee anyway. A coffee plantation is like a bank. I know that actually it's better than a bank, because money in a bank, there are deductions every month. But when it comes to coffee, are recessed most of the time. The government of the NRM, under President Museveni, has changed the trend from what it was in the past. In the past, we carried coffee to the Congo because there was no market for coffee here. Today, coffee is being brought into Uganda through different channels. Those on the highway, those through the porous borders, selling the coffee here in Uganda because it's where the market is. And very recently, you have seen the surge in the price. So if we are to have our children in school, we must produce, process, and market more coffee. Now, with regard to the particular topic of the day, children's rights. And I would like to extend it beyond children's rights to include. Yes, we have high dropouts of children from school, part of it caused by child labor. Many of these children are dropping out of school in order to provide labor on the coffee gardens. I don't want to call them farms. I was at a place called the Chirao Primary School in Chitoro sub-county, where I found 191 children in P1 and only 25 in P7. Now, when I asked them why this margin, because when you look at P1, P4, P7, you draw a graph. It can show you the culture of education in the area. Now, they told me something more surprising. But the previous year, they had 17 children in primary 7. Now, those who transited to senior 1 anywhere were only 3. When I asked where are the 14, the answer was that was the direct answer. None of them died. Actually, for them, none of them even got pregnant, but they are harvesting coffee. Now, coffee should not be a curse. We have to fight child labor. But we also have to understand the context under which we are fighting child labor. Children should not be brought up without work. They must work. But where do they work and what do they do? Children should be encouraged, or parents should be encouraged to engage their children on their farms during holidays, during weekends, so that they are part of the process that makes money for the family, that also makes money for their school fees. But that shouldn't mean that they get out of school. Many of us, when we were young, we helped our parents to look for our own fees. I used to squeeze banana juice, and I was very good at it. But that didn't mean that I leave school. No. Help my mother, we make banana juice, tomorrow it is sold, we buy books, we pay school fees. Now the same thing should be done. Let us engage the parents to involve children in looking after the coffee, harvesting the coffee, but also knowing that this coffee is very vital for my education and for my upkeep in the future. During our time when we were young, many people dropped out of school because they were engaged in smuggling. I don't remember how many were with, but there was a place called Muzambai, those who know the other side, Mlarama, Muzambai. I personally carried coffee that were bought from Maliba to Chabikere. That was in 1983. But, and many of our friends, after buying a shirt called the Azaro and trousers called Michael Jackson, then there was no need for school anymore. Yeah? Now, that time is past. We want people to know that we need coffee as a source of revenue to help a parent manage the school, help the family cater for other necessities. Then there is this challenge of exploitation, sexual exploitation, especially of the girl child, resulting from those who think they have money out of coffee. Then you find parents crying locally, omwenyelire abasubizi bomwanike abaketutwekera abana. That's wrong. To look at a coffee yield as directly translating into pregnancies among the children, that one should be fought. And how do we fight it? We have to sensitize the traders and the farmers. Now, when we talk of the traders, I want to remind you that the interventions the government is making now are eliminating the middlemen. Those who have been making money out of Akasuburati. Now, when kyagalanyi goes down to the grassroots, which other company, Agrivolve, Kawacom, and several others, when they get down to the ground, it is helping to eliminate the exploitative middlemen. And these ones were the ones mostly involved in sexual exploitation of the girl child. But that means the farmer in the rural area there may still get the temptation to replace the middleman in exploiting the girl child just because he has got the money. Now, the other people to sensitize are the children themselves. In school, let this child know that that man who received the money from coffee sales yesterday should not divert you from school, should not make you get married at an early age. Finally, we have to look at the role of women in that economy where coffee is a key product. We have witnessed many cases of gender-based violence, especially where women work like donkeys in picking coffee, carrying the coffee, but at the end of the day, they don't know where the money has gone, because the men think they should have the only say, I shouldn't say final say, but the only say available on where this money goes is made by the man. No, women and men should be able to sit in their families, decide on the use of the proceeds from their profit. When you have a stable family, you have a family that will cater for the interests of the children. If you look at most of the families where there is child abuse, child neglect, most of those families, the problem does not begin with the children themselves. The problem mostly begins with the setup of the family. And I therefore would like to urge all our people to focus on the family, respect the role of each family member, including the women who do most of the work, involve them in decision making on how to utilize the proceeds from the coffee sales. I would like to conclude or to end by reassuring you that government's commitment is to have a better managed coffee sector, and that sector will not be beneficial to us unless we have our families together, our children with the rights respected, so that we have a better future. And that future that guarantees everyone's ability to take a child to school, to look for medication where need be, and to enjoy prosperity.
Vice Chairperson, at the same time, Secretary Social Services. I am running 2 offices, and I am glad that we are here, Bwana RDC as chief guest. On behalf of Kasese District Local Government, my district chairperson has been here. I want to inform the gathering that we have taken this function very, very important, because the RDC is here, the district chairperson is here, and the other heads of departments being here is a sign that we take this project and taking Seaford and Kyagalanyi as very key and instrumental partners. I want to thank you for bringing us here this afternoon for this exit meeting. Exit in a way that, yes, you are exiting, I think, the sub-counties where you have been working and going to the others. The good news is that you have said it. You are exiting the 3 sub-counties where you have been working, and you are going to the other 3 sub-counties. If I had well, you said bugoye, kilembe, and maliba. Yes, and bugoye, kilembe, and maliba. So we are very excited as a district that, one, you have implemented the first phase in Bukonzo East and West, second phase Songora North, third phase you are coming to Songora South. I think we are lucky and very excited to work with you. Before I call the chief guest, I want to give 2 observations. Kasese district will have a high rate of child abuse, yes. And as I talk now, there is a high rate of pregnancy among the young people. Bwana RDC have just been talking to the DO that he has a list of so many girls. It has even been alluded by the district community development officer that a list of girls who are getting pregnant is alarming. Bwana RDC, if I could mention some schools, Kitabu Primary School, Nyangonge Primary School, Nyamera Primary School, and others, the list is long. We have heard it again. The pregnancies has risen again in the district. I remember, was it Friday when we were having a meeting about the well-being of children, the chief magistrate commented that he has never seen a rate of child abuse in Uganda. Child abuse, neglect, and divorce. He has never seen it anywhere. The rate is too much for Kasese district. And that child abuse, child pregnancy is the order of the day. So when Kyagalanyi comes with Seaford, come and help us, we should really be thanking you 1,000 times. Join me once again and we thank you. Because like the Kasambia and my sister from Karambi, they have shown that with your approach, we can reduce these vices of child abuse in the district. Myself and my committee and him and the DO, we are more committed to implementing strategies that you can share with us in order to end child marriages, child defilement, child pregnancies, which taints our name. We are tainted, our name, Kasese, in the global news, even on the continental news and the national news. They talk of incest also. incest is on the rise here. So we have a very big problem, but together when we come in as a team, we can overcome when we use the strategies you are sharing with us. I wanted also to say the Child Protection Fund should be shared, that approach, by all other partners in the district. We have so many other partners in this area of child protection. I wish Bwana DO and the District Community Development Officer and even you yourself as SEFOD, because you're already here working with other partners, if you could share this so that whoever goes to implement an activity in a sub-county on child protection, that funding should be there to help us sustain the projects whenever people are pulling out. Lastly, I want to, on behalf of the district political leaders, I want to commit myself and the council and the district leadership that we are going to support whatever strategies partners bring, whatever strategies SEFOD brings with kyagalanyi. One, to improve the quality of coffee of our farmers in the district, because without the coffee we cannot get the money to educate the children. And two, to support all ventures and strategies to end child abuse, so that at the end of the day we can have a holistic child who is going to be educated, go to school, remain there and complete, and at the end of the day be a meaningful person who is ready to contribute towards the development of this country. I therefore want to thank you for bringing us here, and I want to say yes, you are exiting the sub-counties where you have been working. Thank you very much, and we shall support you in those areas. Maliba is one of the areas we know in the district that has those issues of child abuse. Every now and then Maliba is reported, and if you come there, then we shall reduce it. Bugoye the same, even kilembe sub-county. So we shall support you, and we have already said we are want to behave like Oliver Twist. When he was given, again he requested. Every person who has talked has said, please, even when you are in bugoye or maliba or kilembe, cascade it down. We can continue working with you to cascade to the other sub-counties before you reach there. The district leadership, together with the technical people on the other side, we are ready to advance that work so that we can have a successful project.
Thank you for one, championing the issue of child protection and rallying behind the established structures of the social workers and others. Two, I also want to report to you, Bwana Chairman and RDC, that through kyagalanyi and SEFOD, there are 4 cases that were reported to us directly in primary school where our 4 children were impregnated, and they actually directly called us, and I linked up with our senior community development officer, and we made a report about it. And the 2 of them actually had delivered, and 2 were still pregnant. So we followed up this report and talked to the parents to ensure that this children sit in there. PLE, I have a report which I have already submitted to the DO's office for further follow-up. So this, and actually the 2 delivered and the other 2 have not yet delivered. But we are very hopeful that these people will sit for their National Examination Board, because we committed ourselves and did a social inquiry report, counseled them, that is in the Tiraba Town Council, and they will be in school. I'm very happy with kyagalanyi and SEFOD for following up those issues. So I also want to thank you for the fund that you have established, which is actually unique, the Child Protection Fund, that helps us as a district and you as kyagalanyi to follow up those issues, the emergency issues. And the management is so good, so much so that it cannot be infiltrated by someone who is not in charge. So this fund has actually done a lot, especially when at times of need and when we cannot access funds in it. So I'm very happy with this fund.
and I'm very sure that will help us. And finally, I want to assure you that we shall maintain a good working relationship with you and the child protection officers you have left behind, the liaison officers, and we shall also ensure that we continue working with them as a community office in our various sub-counties where you're working from. And we still implore you that please you give us more projects. We are continuing on and we cascade to other sub-counties as the DEO has said. Without wasting much time, let me take this opportunity again to say thank you, and I hand over to the chairperson.
Approach, these techniques were initiated and implemented. Actually, we have been handling issues of child neglect, child labor, child dropout rates so high, low completion levels across the country, and what we are battling. The mission of the government is such that every child enrolled in school at the correct age and complete school and proceed until this child achieves the best out of her life. But the challenge is we have not been able to achieve this across the country. Actually, our completion level is at around 36% countrywide, and for kasese particularly is around 24%. It's very low. Nevertheless, children who come to school, who enroll in school at P1 level, do not all get to P7. It's around 24% who get to primary. Many of them disappear within there. One of the issues that cause all that is one, late enrollment. Children do not come to school at the correct age. The policy of government says by 3 years, a child should go to baby class. 4 years, middle. 5 years, upper. Those who can afford to go to the nursery school. Then by 6 years, every child is supposed to be enrolled in P1. That is the policy of government. And in this case, whether has gone to nursery or not, this child is supposed to go to P1. So if you have been in nursery, when you have initially wale wazele juko obo kana be kurane ke lero akama tukamya kama kanga tukapiwa akanya kwa nne community inaweza janga ejomusa lero wano yu akaji shanga rege school mwanza kutiji kudakabi na kilomi akayo bulere lero kene kisomite mwati kiri kuyo wengewe. But what happened with us, especially umushairi ya mlimu koleramu isi, especially the rural setting and lake regions. Kasa na nama na mepama nene, wakati tukemia kikumi, mama tukepi one. Nina nebuka kwa next kwa ya kamikani na kutonya kwa sanju na ngo na mwa tukachinani. Tukepi one. So kasa nina kikumi karibu kumi na mo mikumi. So tenga wana je Roma no iba tukumya kumi na mo mama tukepi one P2. Ne Roma no akatula bitsimwe na lebe kamusumbua. Ebika mutrere manenge meriwa kwa na makorechi amare de school baba kabe defile baba kabe rep baba kabe marido ko baba ko lumchi so ta ko ma ja inesa hano mo gairi mo marje sa tire piero yi aba kai garan mari ndiaba abanene ba yonye kuna munani kuna musani kuna mukala kuna mali na makumya kwa na korechi banemu there was a no mana when you mukuru there akatunga civil but kala kibaba kale ka change. That's why our competition is very low kunde wana babisa tukiwa na kulirechi bana kulire lero maraka yoke no akanda kasoma lero ndako P2 meki kumi sina maji ka P1. So by 15 years omana lema P4 P5 atema ngura ro bana ina no service you na college ina kwa kasinte king then I saw the water and I got it. Gave my worst of it, but I go to the trouble heavy man. Kundumana wachi, waburu le baruku bare, aka ukabanza kaka. Then let's get noise, ready you. So I just like I said, then never did school in a getting water. They want to do what more. Say to go one day, I am happy with this. I'm not sure. Oh, man, you're here. I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to Lisa, one or more table. But if you look at the table, they don't from my class and some. You want to have something is all going to Kuniremo akaso na nekweti kwa serikali sasa ndio kama sana kwa mayambo mwana wa school ukamwamba mwacharo kama kwa school na yakale kwa mnyango moria. But this approach is such that umwe isaye first of all atandire kenge chereho mumtia chereho anze iwe na college asho kwa school ina nanzi kama sana toka yanyu so ngesaba ende akanuka anu approach when I will ask that as discipline leadership to take up this task. This approach is so good. You take this leadership, I get traumatic policia, police approach to say a man, a community stressing, call out so that get from us for, yes, I'll be kyagalanyi, na Seford, mtu wa tikaye, molekiwa mtumukana, akanikandua kimi kaka for this you say, I will pray, and this you see police. From other police, you can't overcome. Otherwise, it's some what to some such a what to look at option or what? No. When there is one zero, and Rakurani or Muma Musa. And Rakurani or Moon, the months over in some miss. On brother Soma said the sample. Development of an individual is dependent upon the education this child, this person will acquire entirely. So the only way out is to make sure we ensure that every child accesses quality education. Dead or alive, this child must go. And you must remember, never remember about the truth of that. Actually, you want to college, based from attention to Shabana to cut and Mumki and the Ascension Shumani, Sukavia. Betu manaka sumire trata mama sasa kutungaji faida nashi so ngesa bende utukuse wetu omali kuchuja bende tuli baba kwa mtu baba kwanda choma chesa ngesa bende mwire sifo na kyagalanyi akuchia weyi. I think I will have interaction with them ili tusangera kutwanga urayo netu education department with my ministers tutangera kutwanga uriyayi polisayeyo nahane abatendihika tutangana kutomoka kugashikeni to the rest of the district. Otherwise, thank you for sure for inviting us and for involving us in this venture, and we pledge total support in every situation. Yamukati Asuba, please bring us on board. Mukaikana mu committees, ngulema tu tikiti na tiketi na mabekera yetu ni mkono ndani. Masinga kusema